Chapter 8. Caleb. Because of my hair, I am a few minutes late for school. I run in and take my place at the table next to Becky. Only one other person is sitting at that table because the other tables are full, and he is sitting as far from her as possible. She smells horrible this morning, but I don't mind because she is my friend. Her hair looks how mine did before my mother brushed it, and the dress she is wearing is dirty and has holes in it. As I hug her, I hear her sniff. Looking at her face, I can tell that she has been crying. "What's wrong?" I whisper worriedly. It's not an uncommon thing for Becky to be crying. She gets picked on a lot at school. "Caleb pulled my hair and called me stinky," she sniffs. "Well, he's a turd," I whisper back. This makes her smile, and we both giggle. "Yeah, turd," she repeats. "Nothing but a stinky brown poop turd." We both share another laugh at that one. I pull Fred from my shoulder and set him down on the table. Some days he sits with us, and some days he likes to move around during the lesson. I wonder if he gets bored. "Hey, Missy." "Yeah? Can Fred sit between us today?" I know that Becky can't see Fred, but it's really fun when she pretends that she can. She even talks to him too, and will ask me where he is at times. "Sure." I pick Fred up and move him. Becky leans down close to the table where I have just set Fred. "Hello, Fred. How are you today?" She reaches out to stroke him. Her hand misses him by an inch or two, so I take it and move it so that she really is touching him. "Can you feel him?" I ask. I just know that one of these days she really will be able to. "I think so," Becky says with wide eyes. Miss Caulfield is coming around the room then, handing out an activity for the day and making sure that everyone has several crayons to use. Both Becky and I pretend that Fred isn't there so we don't get into trouble. I know that Miss Caulfield tells my mom when my imaginary friend is there. It's only the second week of school. Today's lesson is on the letter E. I already know how to read an E, but my mother told me no one likes a braggart. I don't know what that means fully, but I think it means that I shouldn't answer all the questions in class. I need to make sure everyone gets a turn. After that, we have some coloring and some matching activities to do. My favorite part comes next. We get to go play outside. I love being outside, and I think the other spiders do too. They like the room to spread out. Becky and I go to head out together, Fred on my shoulder, but I have to use the potty before we go play. When I finally get outside, I don't see Becky at first. Then I spot her on the ground, crying, surrounded by Caleb and a few other kids. They are all teasing and making fun of her. I run over to stop them, but Miss Caulfield has seen them as well. She gets there just as I do. "Okay, kids, break it up. Who started this?" Miss Caulfield asks. No one wants to admit blame. Devin and Lisa just stand there with their hands in their pockets. Caleb slowly backs away from the group, pretending that he wasn't a part of it. Miss Caulfield kneels next to Becky. "Are you okay? Why are you on the ground?" Through her tears, Becky replies, "Caleb pushed me." I had suspected as much. I make my way over to Caleb and say, "You're a brat." "No, you're a brat," Caleb retorts back. "You're going to be punished for this," I whisper so no one hears. "Hey," Miss Caulfield calls over to us. "I'll take care of this, Missy. Thank you." I go back to Becky. Miss Caulfield has helped her to her feet. "Are you okay now?" Miss Caulfield asks. Becky rubs her nose with her dirty sleeve and nods her head. "Uh-huh." "Caleb, I want to have a talk with you," Miss Caulfield calls out, heading his way. I stand with Becky in the midst of the playground. My spiders have fanned out around me. They are in the trees, on the merry-go-round, and everywhere else close by, but never on actual people. I turn and watch Miss Caulfield lead Caleb away, and I notice a few of my spiders on the back of his jacket. He's gonna get bit, I think, just like Daddy's boss, Mr. Nash. "Caleb is so mean," Becky sniffs. "Don't worry, he'll be taken care of," I say confidently. "I doubt it. Miss Caulfield can't spank him. My parents would beat me if I got in trouble at school." "Not her, someone else." I feel like a superhero with the ability to make sure that justice is served. Who then? Um, I hesitate, wondering if I should tell her. So far, I am the only one that knows, but I don't keep anything from Becky. You can't tell anyone, it's a secret. I swear, Becky says, putting her pinky finger in the air. We lock pinkies, and then I tell her, it's the spiders. They are going to punish Caleb for you. Becky's eyes widen. Wow, they would do that for me? Yeah, they've already done it for me 3 times. I like your spiders, Becky says. Me too. We won't have to worry about Caleb ever again. I don't know where that thought came from, and something about it seems wrong. Everyone else who was bit by the spiders was fine the next day. Yeah, Becky agrees. That's so great. She laughs. I laugh too, so I don't seem weird. Yeah, I guess so, I say, but I'm not so sure. I turn my head to be able to see Fred, sitting calmly and quietly on my shoulder. I know he is looking at me with at least several of his 8 eyes. His eyes seem so wide and deep right now. He has communicated to me somehow without saying anything aloud. It's a weird and wonderful thing. I've always wished that Fred could talk to me. Maybe he just had to grow up a little. The swings are open. Let's go, Becky says. Hand in hand, we run and get 2 swings together. Missy, Becky says as she pumps her legs to get higher. Yes, I'm pumping my legs too, and we try to get higher faster than the other in a friendly competition. You are my best friend. You're my best friend too, Becky. My thoughts turn to Fred as I say this. I don't want him to get jealous. I'll have to tell him later on that he is my best friend too. I can have more than one. Chapter 9. Feed Me. Dinner that night is split pea and ham soup with cornbread. It is one of my dad's and my favorite meals. The cornbread is warm and sweet with butter and honey on it. We always take turns at dinner saying our favorite and least favorite parts of the day. My favorite part of today is dinner right now, I say. It's so yummy, Mommy. And what's your least favorite part, Missy? Daddy asks. I have to think about it. It's been such a long day that I try to think back over all of it. Today, at school, during recess, Caleb pushed Becky down and called her names. I didn't like that part. I'm sad thinking back about it now. Then I remember something else. But it's gonna be okay. Fred said he'll take care of it. Both my parents stop eating and look at me. I realized I said something I shouldn't have. I shouldn't be talking about Fred. I especially shouldn't be repeating things he says. Fred said, "What?" my mother asks. She is trying to be casual, so I'll talk about it, but I can tell that she is worried. Fred said he'll take care of it, I respond timidly, wishing I'd kept my mouth shut in the first place. And just how is Fred going to do that? My mother's voice is tense and a little shrill. I realize that I'm not in trouble for talking about Fred, but I don't want to say too much. I don't know, he just said that he would. I enjoy being able to talk about Fred and wish that we would as a family more often. Tonight is going well. Yummy dinner, and Mommy is accepting Fred. Daniel, Mommy says very seriously. Daddy has already resumed eating, but Mommy's spoon is still on the table. He looks up at her. Dr. Wilson's office called today. She is talking quieter, like she is trying to tell him a secret. I feel like I'm going to hear something grown up that I won't understand. They confirmed that he was indeed bit by a spider. They don't know what kind it was, but it could have been really serious. I'm glad to hear he's all right. Yes, but you don't think, I mean, could it have been Fred? Elizabeth, really? I thought we had already agreed that this was just a random coincidence. I thought back about my appointment with Dr. Wilson last week. It was true that I had gotten a little upset at him, but Fred wouldn't go and hurt him because of it. Besides, Fred hadn't left my side, unless he had when I was sleeping. But Fred didn't know the way to Dr. Wilson's office. It had been a different spider that had stayed behind. I wonder if that spider ever found its way back. I had no way of keeping track of how many spiders I had. There were so many of them, I would get lost trying to count them. So are we're just going to ignore this? Mommy asks. Missy's imaginary Fred can't hurt someone. Be rational. As if that decided it, Daddy turned his attention back to his dinner. Maybe he convinced her because Mommy started eating again too. I felt that it was safe to do so as well. After dinner, I'm allowed to go watch a show before I have to get ready for bed. When I'm told it's time to go brush my teeth, I ask for 5 more minutes. It's always worth a shot because sometimes one of them will say yes, but not tonight. Daddy comes in and shuts off my show and ushers me up the stairs. I brush my teeth and get my pajamas on. Daddy and Mommy come and sit in my room while Daddy reads a bedtime story. They both kiss me goodnight. My bedroom light is turned off and my door closed. I look up at the spots representing spiders all over my walls and ceiling. Not feeling that tired, I decide to count them. It might be a good idea to know how many there are. I can only count to 100, so I hope there aren't more than that. 1, 2, 3. I start with the ones on the ceiling. 21, 22. I haven't gotten very far when I hear a voice close to my ear. It's too quiet for me to understand. I turn my head towards it and see Fred looking at me. Did you say something? I ask him, excited that maybe he is talking to me. There's no response. I roll to my side so I can face him better. Come on, Fred, were you talking to me? I want to talk to you. My bedroom door opens. Missy? Apparently, in my excitement, I wasn't talking quietly enough. Yes, Mama. Are you talking to someone in here? I was talking to Fred. Well, tell Fred that it's time for bed. You need to be quiet in here. Yes, Mama. The door closes. I roll back onto my back and pull the covers up under my chin. I close my eyes, having forgotten about counting the spiders. I'm close to sleep when I hear the words again. I understand them this time. Feed me. My eyes fly open. Fred is talking to me. I roll back to look at him. I knew you were talking to me, Fred, I whisper, not wanting to get into trouble for disobeying. Of course he's hungry. I never see him eat anything. He sticks by me all the time. I've tried to feed him all manner of human food, but that isn't what a spider wants to eat. I'll find you some food in the morning, Fred. I can't wait to tell Becky. She'll be excited too. And if Fred can say that, then there has to be more he can say. It's quite some time before I can get to sleep. Chapter 10. Fed, from Fred's point of view. Ah, it is such a relief to finally have some real nourishment after all these years. My food isn't a physical substance or sensation as humans are used to. Instead, it is more like a renewing of my soul. I stretch out each of my 8 legs and appreciate the slight increase of each one. The child has done well, and for this I am grateful. Without knowing it, she is decreasing her innocence. She is part pawn, part accomplice now, and she is mine. I settle near her on the pillow and watch her in the moonlight. Venom drips from my fangs as I crave more and more. What I had today was but a tiny taste, enough to whet my appetite and make me ravenous. There will be more very soon. Chapter 11. Playdate. The next morning, I brushed my hair all on my own without being asked. I don't want to be late for school today. If we get there before it starts, maybe Becky will be early too, and we can see if Fred has more to say. I know she'll help me feed him for sure. I finish my breakfast quickly, put my dishes in the sink, and head to the front door to put on my shoes. Someone is in a hurry today, Mommy remarks. I just want to get there before Caleb picks on Becky. It's a true thought most days, but today it is a small fib, and I feel guilty about it. Miss Caulfield is supposed to make sure Becky doesn't get picked on, Mom says as she puts on her shoes. She hands me my coat from the closet and puts her own on. You aren't responsible for that. I know, but she can't watch everyone all the time, I say as we head out the door. After I buckle into the car, I ask, "Can Becky come over after school today?" I'm fine with it if her mother is. Hooray! When we get to school, Miss Caulfield is outside the door to greet us, which is a little unusual. "Mrs. Carter, do you have a quick minute? I need to talk to you," Miss Caulfield says to Mommy. She sounds worried. "Yes, what is it? Is it about Missy?" I stick around to listen, hoping I'm not in trouble. I don't know that I've done anything wrong at school recently, except for calling Caleb a brat. Maybe he tattled on me. "Oh no, Missy is great. She never causes any trouble. But we need to let parents know about something that happened and what we're planning on doing about it." "Okay." "We're afraid that Caleb Jacobs may have been bitten by a spider at school yesterday." "Oh!" My mom is really flustered at the news. I see her shift her weight. Her hands twist together in front of her nervously. I think about the spiders I saw on his coat as he left yesterday. "Yes, we think it may have happened at school because his mother said he was having trouble breathing on the way home yesterday. She rushed him to the hospital, but it was too late." "What do you mean, too late? You mean he died?" Mom's voice rang out shrill and loud. "I'm afraid so, but I want to reassure you that we are taking every precaution to make sure that it doesn't happen again. The room will be bombed this weekend, and the yard will be fogged after school today. I'm planning in my lesson on Friday to talk to the children about the poisonous spiders in our area, what they look like, and how to leave them alone so this doesn't happen again. We are doing all we can, trust me." My mother looks down at me, and I don't know how to read the look on her face. I know she is upset, maybe even angry. Her lips purse together thoughtfully before she turns back to my teacher. "Do they know what kind of spider, Miss Caulfield? Was it a tarantula bite?" Instantly, I know she is accusing Fred of this, and I can't help but clench my fists in frustration. When I described Fred to my parents before, they showed me a picture of a tarantula, and it looked exactly like Fred. "Fred would never do that," I blurt out. Neither adult hears me or pays me any attention, though. "Oh no, Mrs. Carter, no one has actually ever died before from a tarantula bite, and they don't live in our area. The doctors aren't sure what kind of spider it was, or even if it was a spider for sure. Without actually seeing and identifying the spider that bit him, there's no way to absolutely know. We are just taking every precaution." "Oh, good." My mom's shoulders drop as she takes a deep breath and relaxes a little. "We're asking parents to talk to their kids about the tragedy and encourage them to share their feelings. We'll also have counselors at the school if you or Missy feels that she needs to talk to one." "That is good to know." Another car pulls up to the building. I recognize Becky in the back seat and wave before tugging on my mom's arm to go talk to Becky's mom. When the vehicle stops, Becky opens her door and gets out. "You'll never guess what," I say to Becky, grabbing her hand. "What?" she asks excitedly. "Fred talked to me." "Really?" Her eyes get all wide. "Yeah, really." "What did he say?" "He said, 'Feed me.'" "Wow, then we'll have to find something for him to eat." "I know. That's why my mom is asking yours if you can come over after school. I want you to help me." "That will be so much fun." We are discussing what bugs we think Fred will want to eat when Becky's mom pulls out of the parking lot. "She said it's fine," my mother says, and both Becky and I jump up and down, holding hands and shouting, "Yay! I'll see you girls after school." When my mom comes back to pick us up, I whisper to Becky as we walk across the parking lot to our car. "We can't talk about it in front of my mom. We'll have to wait until we get home." "'Kay," Becky whispers back. When we get to my house, Becky and I run up to my room to talk privately. "Okay," I begin after shutting my bedroom door. "We gotta find some bugs, see what Fred wants to eat." "This is so exciting," Becky says. "We should have gone to my house. There are lots of bugs there. Our bathroom always has roaches in it, and there are plenty of dead flies on the windowsills." "Flies are a good idea. I think spiders eat those. Let's see if there are any dead flies on the windowsills here." We start with my bedroom, but don't find any dead flies on the windowsills. From there, we explore the upstairs bathroom and my parents' room for bugs. "Your house is really clean," Becky remarks as we head downstairs. having found no bugs yet, dead or alive. I know, my mom spends a lot of time on it. We noticed one fly in the living room, but it is alive and we don't know how to catch it. We can come back for it if we don't find any others, I say. My mom is sitting at the kitchen table when we head in there to look. She is sitting so still that at first I don't even notice her. I jump when she asks, "What are you girls looking for?" Bugs, I admit. Shh, Becky whispers. I thought you said we can't tell her. Why are you looking for bugs? She wrinkles her nose in disgust. Because we want to look at them, see if we can catch one. I'm sure there are plenty of bugs outside, Mommy says. Of course. Why didn't I think of outside? Yeah, we should go outside, I tell Becky. We both run to the front door. Put on your shoes and coats, my mother calls after us. Becky didn't have a coat with her today, so I found one of mine for her to wear. There were a couple of bugs already trapped in spider webs in our hedges out front. I tried holding Fred up to these to see if he wanted to eat them, but he didn't seem to be interested in them. We found some stink bugs, but Fred didn't want anything to do with those, nor the worms we dug up. There were some potato bugs under a piece of wood, but Fred didn't show any interest in those either. After what felt like hours, we couldn't find a single thing that Fred wanted to eat. I just don't know, I said, shaking my head. He won't tell me what he wants, and I can't figure it out. I kick a rock away in disparagement. I don't want him to be hungry. My own stomach growls. I'm getting hungry, Becky says. Me too, I agree. Maybe Mom will make us a snack, and we can see if Fred is hungry enough for human food. He hasn't eaten any yet, but maybe this time he will. Because we've tried everything else, Becky moans. We race to my front door just as my mom is opening it. Good timing, girls. I was just going to call you in. Snack is on the table. Shoes and coats off and go wash those hands, she directs. Becky and I strip off our outerwear and toss them in a pile by the door in our hurry to get to our food. Once we sit down with clean hands, I try feeding Fred first, but he didn't want a peanut butter and honey sandwich either. You have to eat, Fred, I coax as I hold the food up to him after looking around to make sure my mom wasn't watching. She would get upset about this for sure. What are we gonna do? Becky asks. I don't know, I huff. I'm just gonna have to keep trying everything until I figure out what he'll eat. Chapter 12. Growing. That night, as Daddy tucked me in, I remembered something that I had noticed earlier that I had forgotten to tell Becky about. It was such an exciting discovery that I was bursting to tell someone. Hey, Daddy, can I tell you something? I glance at the doorway to my room to make sure that Mommy is left. Of course, Pumpkin, you can tell me anything. He strokes my hair. I don't think we should tell Mommy. She won't like it. It will be our little secret, he whispers to me, his face coming in close to mine. Lowering my voice, I say, I think Fred is getting bigger. My daddy frowns for a moment, and I think it is a mistake to have told him. Why do you think that, Pumpkin? I sit up so I can carefully pick up Fred. Do you see that seashell on my pillow? I point to a spot on my beach-themed pillowcase where Fred had just been sitting. Yes. Whenever I set Fred on top of the seashell, he never covers the whole thing. I can only see this part of it. I motion to the outer point of the shell. But this morning, when I was going to pick up Fred, I noticed that I couldn't see any of the seashell. Isn't that normal for things to grow and get bigger? You grow and get bigger. I think about that for a minute. But Fred is different. He's always been the same size. I thought he was full grown like you until now. I don't know what to tell you, Pumpkin, but you need to go to sleep so you can do some more growing. I lay back down and he pulls the covers up around my shoulders. Good night, Pumpkin. He kisses my cheek. Night, Daddy. I pretend like I'm going to sleep as he leaves the room. Once I hear his footsteps outside, heading away, I open my eyes again. I know that Mommy is going to talk to him about Caleb, the boy at school who died today. She didn't mention it at dinner. I wait until I'm sure that he has gone downstairs before I sneak out of bed with my blanket. Fred on my shoulder, and my spider cloud converging behind me. My parents are in the living room, which is directly down the stairs. I quietly sit down out of view in case they were to look up here. So, what's bothering you so much, Lizzie? Dad asks. A boy at Missy's school died. Wow. There was a pause. How did it happen? The teacher said they think he was bitten by a spider. She sniffs and has difficulty going on. He was having trouble breathing on his way home from school, and by the time they got him to the hospital, it was too late. They couldn't do anything for him. That's horrible. Yes, but Daniel, her voice cracks as she struggles to continue. What if this has something to do with Missy? Whoa, I thought Missy was the one in the house with the wild imagination. Seriously, 2 spider attacks recently from people connected to Missy? You aren't worried? Apparently, Mommy doesn't know about Daddy's boss. But my spiders are only hurting people who hurt others. What is wrong with that? No, sounds like total coincidence. I want to get her checked out. My dad sighs. Isn't that what you were doing at Dr. Wilson's? That was just her eyes. I want to get her brain scanned. An MRI. See if they find anything unusual. There's no harm in at least checking. And what do you expect them to find? That our daughter has a brain tumor that is causing her to see an invisible spider that is killing people? Do you see how ridiculous that sounds? Mommy sighs loudly. I know, you are right. I just need to be sure that there isn't something there. She's been carrying on with this enough that I think she believes something is there. You know how hard she tries to be good, but she's willing to make us upset over a make believe spider? Okay, that is a fair point. Take her in for an MRI. It's non invasive and won't cause her harm. But please do not mention this ridiculous theory of yours. It's bad enough for you to say that our daughter is seeing things others can't. You can't say that her imaginary friend killed someone. My theory is not that ridiculous. They'll take her away, Elizabeth. Don't you see that? If you go in there with this wild story, they'll think one of you is crazy. They'll put you away and take her away. You can't talk about this to anyone. Daddy's voice was adamant. I imagine my mother twisting her hands in her lap like she does when she gets nervous. Okay, whatever you say. I just need to know for sure that nothing is wrong with her. Come here. We just need to stick together on this and protect Missy. Our family is the most important thing to me. I hear a kissing sound and know that the serious part of the conversation is over. As quietly as I crept out, I sneaked back to bed. Chapter 13. The Gift. When I arrive at school 2 days later, Becky begins jumping up and down with excitement and a big smile on her face when she sees me. My mom is letting me have a birthday party, she says, presenting me with a handmade invitation. It is a construction paper pink heart glued to a yellow background. On it, she has written in scrawling letters, Becky, Missy, Party. I'm so happy, I squeal back as we both jump up and down holding hands. Miss Caulfield gives us a stern look and we quiet down. When is it? I ask in my indoor voice. Tomorrow after school. I hope my mom will let me come. Becky is my only human friend. We are very close, even though we just met 2 weeks ago when school started. I'd never been to a friend's birthday party before. We'll beg her, Becky says dramatically. My mom does say yes. She gets the address from Becky's mom and says that she'll drive me over after school. But Mom, I say on the way home, Becky's mom could just pick me up from school. I know, but we don't really know Becky's parents very well. I would like to see where you're going to be spending the afternoon. Still thinking that my mom is being weird about it, I keep my mouth shut because I'm so happy to be going to a party. And with Becky. Can we get Becky a stuffed tarantula for her birthday? What makes you think that Becky wants a stuffed spider? She gives me a squinted look in the rearview mirror. Well, she really likes Fred and wishes that she had a pet spider too. Okay. Are you sure she wouldn't like something nicer, like a doll? I consider for a moment. No, I think she wants a tarantula. Well, we'll see if we can find one. Let's go to the mall. They have several stores there with stuffed animals. We drive in silence for a minute. I look out the window, wondering about all the fun things Becky and I are going to do together at her party. She did say it was just going to be her and I. She doesn't have any other friends either, but it'll still be loads of fun. She said her mom is going to make a cake, and we can play with our spiders. I wonder what she will name hers. Missy, what if we got you a stuffed tarantula too? Then you wouldn't have to pretend to see Fred anymore. I roll my eyes. My mother just doesn't get it. Mom, I've told you so many times that Fred isn't pretend. I really do see him. He'd get lonely if I didn't take care of him. My voice keeps getting louder as I can't control the hurt I feel inside. I blink my eyes against the tears stinging them and sniff. Okay, okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you upset. It was just an idea. We drive in silence the rest of the way to the mall. I stare out the window, wishing that I could make my mother understand about Fred. Why can't she see him? I look over at Fred to see if he has any ideas for me and nearly gasp in surprise. Fred is staring at me intently, and his body seems to be pulsing bigger and smaller. Feed me, he whispers. I gasp and look up at my mom, who glances at me in the rearview mirror. Everything all right back there? She asks. I know then that she didn't hear Fred. Yeah, I call back and think of a lie. I just thought I recognized someone outside. It was the best I could think of so quickly, and I couldn't tell her the truth. I was scared after Daddy told her they could take me away if the doctors found out about me. I would be extra careful now to only talk about Fred to certain people. The pet store in the mall did have a stuffed tarantula. While we were there, Mommy let me look at the live ones in the tank. There was a really pretty one with red stripes on it. I didn't say anything aloud about how beautiful it was because I didn't want Fred to get jealous. Fred should realize how lucky he was to have me and not live in a tank himself. Are you sure you don't want one for yourself? Mommy asks before we head to the counter. Then you and Becky will have matching ones. I was tempted to say yes. Mom didn't often buy me things just because. Usually she made me do work for them or pay for it with my allowance. Daddy was the one who spoiled me. But I didn't need a stuffed one when I had Fred. He was much more interesting than any toy. No, I don't need one. Okay. When we got up to the counter to pay, I asked the lady behind it what tarantulas eat. We sell crickets for people to feed them, she said. Mommy, can I get some crickets, please? I beg. I give her my best puppy dog eyes, which worked on Daddy more often than not. What do you want with a cricket, Missy? We don't have anywhere to keep one, and they're gross. Mommy always had to be so rational. I couldn't tell her that it was to try to feed Fred with. Becky and I can pretend to feed it to her new stuffy. It was the first thing that came to my mind. And if her new stuffy won't eat it, we'll let it go outside. Missy, I don't think you need a. Mommy, please, 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 please. Since she is hesitating and not right out saying no, I know I have a chance to get one. A thought comes to my mind. What if I pay for it? I turn to the lady behind the counter. How much is a cricket? She looks at her computer for a minute and then answers me. 25 cents. 25 cents. I have that. May I buy a cricket, Mommy? Mom rolls her eyes and takes a deep breath. Fine, I guess. I don't know why you so desperately want a cricket, but that's fine. Yes, thank you, thank you. I bounce up and down. I've finally found what Fred needs to eat. I just hope that he's okay waiting until tomorrow for me to feed it to him. I want to do it with Becky. That'll be just as much fun as giving her the stuffed tarantula. It's like a second birthday present. After we pay, the clerk tells us to wait a minute. She returns and hands me a baggie full of air sealed with a rubber band. Inside is one cricket. This is so cool, I whisper. When we get in the car, I show the cricket to Fred. He doesn't respond, but I hope that he is excited to eat. It will be like his birthday cake. And if he eats a cricket, then it will prove that he isn't made up. My parents will have to believe me then. I can barely sleep that night. I'm so excited. It's difficult to sit still at school, too. I want to tell Becky what her present is so bad, but I keep the surprise a secret. The morning crawls by. Finally, we are released from school, and we both race to the parking lot to wait for my mother. Becky rides with us to her house. Chapter 14. The Party. When we pull up, I'm a bit stunned. I knew that Becky's parents didn't have much money, but I didn't expect them to live in such a small, dirty house. There was trash all over the cramped front walkway. My neat freak mom was not going to be happy about this. I silently prayed that she would allow me to stay and play with Becky and not just drive away. Becky, why don't you go on in? My mother says. We'll be right behind you. Yes, Miss Carter. Becky gets out of the car. Mom turns to me. My spirit sank, waiting for her words. We are going to go in and be very polite, Missy. As long as it isn't dangerously dirty inside, you can stay and hang out with Becky for 2 hours. I will sit out here in the car and wait for you. If you need anything at all, come out and get me, okay? I released my breath and smiled, relieved. Yes, Mama. My mother turned back around and took a deep breath. Then let's do this. We both got out, and I followed her up the walkway. The inside wasn't any better than the outside, but it wasn't much worse either. There were clothes and garbage all over the floor. Now I understood why Becky always smelled so badly. Becky was excited to show me her home, though. She took me to her bedroom, which was just a corner of the living room sectioned off by a curtain. She had a mattress on the floor and a toy box with mostly broken toys. I brought you a present, I said when she was done showing me her things, which didn't take long. I handed her the gift bag covered in pink and purple flowers that I had picked out. I knew she liked pink. Becky's eyes lit up, and a smile filled her face. What is it? Open it! I could barely contain my excitement and helped her pull it out of the bag. A spider? She looked a little confused, but not disappointed. It's a tarantula, like Fred. Now we each have one. Oh my gosh! She was grinning now. It's amazing. I want to go show my mom. Becky ran out to her mother with me at her heels. When we quieted down from our excitement, my mom said she was leaving. Remember what I said, Missy. 2 hours, and be respectful. I will, Mama. I hugged her briefly, then turned back to Becky. I've got one more thing to show you. We both ran back to her little corner bedroom. What else could there be? Becky asked. This is the best birthday ever. In a conspiratorial voice, I say, I brought a cricket as I pull it out of my backpack. What are we going to do with a cricket? Becky is still really excited, knowing this must be good. It's to feed Fred. The lady at the pet store said this is what tarantulas eat. I waited to see if maybe you would be able to see Fred eat it. We are both trembling in anticipation, barely able to sit still. When I first opened the bag, the cricket hopped out into the room. The two of us spent a few minutes chasing him down. In the end, we got a hold of him, but broke one of his legs accidentally. At least he won't need that leg if Fred eats him, I laugh. May I try? Becky pleads. Only because it's her birthday do I let her have the cricket. I pull Fred down from my shoulder and hold him in my hands out in front of me. I can tell this way, too, that Fred is bigger now than he was even a week ago. Here's his mouth. I point so Becky knows where to hold the cricket. Here? Becky asks when nothing happens. The cricket is right in front of Fred's face, but he isn't doing anything about it. I know he's hungry, I say. Why won't you eat the cricket, Fred? Fred isn't normally one to talk, but since I know he can, his silence is annoying. Here, I say, reaching up for the cricket. Let me try it. Becky hands me the injured cricket. I hold it in front of Fred's face, but Fred doesn't move to eat it at all. Do you think he doesn't want it because we broke it? Becky asks. I don't think so. It should still taste the same. Maybe he isn't a tarantula that eats crickets. I huff, frustrated and disappointed. Let's let the cricket go outside then. Becky and I head to the front yard and deposit the cricket just outside their front door. Becky, Missy, Becky's mom calls from inside the house. Cake time. We look at each other and grin before racing back inside to the kitchen. Becky's mom had pushed enough stuff aside on the cluttered kitchen table to have room to put a simple one-layer sheet cake down. It had chocolate frosting and 6 lit candles on it. Make a wish, blow 'em out, Becky's mom says with one eye on the television. I wonder why we aren't singing happy birthday, but Becky goes ahead and blows the candles out anyway. I clap my hands and cheer, Happy birthday! It's the best birthday ever. Becky's smile is ear to ear as her mom cuts us giant pieces of cake. Her mom takes her slice to the living room as we both dig in. Only halfway through, we are starting to feel full, but neither of us wants to quit. Someone comes in the front door and bangs it loudly behind them. Becky cringes in her seat. Uh-oh, she whispers. Carla, a male voice calls out as he tromps into the kitchen. He doesn't look pleased with seeing us girls sitting there. Mike, Becky's mom responds, sounding surprised as she comes to the kitchen. Why are you home so early? Becky is shrinking down in her chair, trying to make herself invisible. What the fuck is going on? The man asks as he digs in the refrigerator and comes out with a beer. Just a little cake for Becky's birthday, Carla responds. Becky is now under the table. The man's face is stern and hard as he glares at me. I've never been so afraid of a person in my life. I join Becky under the table. Who is that? I whisper. Becky turns to me, her wide eyes brimming with tears, lips pinched together. My heart aches for her, and I realize that the party is officially over. It's my dad. I work all day so you can eat cake? Mike screams at Becky's mom. It's her birthday, Mike. Not anymore, he says. The birthday is over. He turns and flips the table on its side. There's a horrible sound of things crashing to the ground and breaking. I cringe and cover my head. Staying low, Becky grabs my hand and pulls me from the room. We run and hide in Becky's little bedroom. Wait, I say as we get there. My mom is waiting for me outside. We can go and get her. I'm not going back out there. Becky pulls the cover over her head. Becky's parents are still in the kitchen, yelling back and forth at each other. I have never seen parents talk this way to each other, and I feel like I should be scared and hide as Becky is doing. But instead of making me afraid, I feel anger. My hands clench into little fists. Why would he do this on Becky's birthday? And why wouldn't her mother stop him? I don't have to contemplate going and getting my mother any longer because I hear her call out my name. Missy, where are you? Here, Mama, I call out, coming out from behind the curtain. What is going on here? I run to her side and stand a little behind her as she heads to the kitchen. Really? She yells out loud enough to be heard over Mike, who is now the only one yelling. Becky's mom is cowering by the counter. Her cheek is bright red. This is how you behave in front of my daughter? You're lucky I'm not calling the police and pressing charges. My mother grabs my hand and storms from the house. I look back at Becky's parents as we leave. Die, I think, as we walk from the house. How could they ruin Becky's party like that? Why was her dad so mean? And why didn't her mother stop him? They're horrible, awful people, and they should die. As soon as the thought happens, 8 of my spiders leave the rest and make their way to Becky's parents. Maybe they will die after all, and Becky can come live with us. She and I would make great sisters, and no one would ever ruin her birthday parties again. I feel hopeful and almost excited as we pull away. Everything is going to work out so splendidly. I turn and look at Fred. His body is pulsing again, his eyes nearly popping out. They are so huge. The sight of him turns my stomach a little. I don't know what's going on with him, and I still haven't figured out what he needs to eat. But with Becky living with us, we'll be able to figure it out for sure. We'll be the 2 investigators. I think about what it will be like with Becky living with us the whole way home. It will be a little crowded in my room with a second bed, but her bed doesn't take up that much space. Maybe my parents will even buy her a new bed so she doesn't have to sleep on hers on the floor anymore. Now and then I notice that my mom is still muttering angrily to herself. I hear her say, "The audacity," and "I should have called the police." But for the most part, I am lost in my daydream. I wait until we are sitting down for dinner and I can ask both my parents at the same time to say, "Can Becky come live with us?" "Oh, Missy," my mom soothes. "I know you're upset about today, but that doesn't mean that we can just have Becky come live with us. She has to live with her parents for now." "But what if they die? Can she come live with us then?" My mom frowns, glances at my dad, and then looks back at me. "Why would they die, Missy?" "I don't know, but sometimes people die, and if they did, could Becky come live with us?" "No, dear, it doesn't work that way. There are people whose job it is to care for children like Becky if something happens to their parents. We can't just decide to have Becky live with us." "Why?" I'm so upset that I can't even eat right now. "It's complicated, but there are parts of the government set up to take care of children when their parents die. She'll have to go live with whoever they decide." "But I'll still get to see her at school." "Not necessarily. She may have to go to a different school. But why are we talking about her parents dying? They look just fine to me today." "I don't want them to die anymore then. I was angry when we left, and I wish that they would die. I don't wish that anymore." I can feel tears brimming up in my eyes. My mother scoots close to me and puts her arm around me. "It's okay, Missy. You can't just wish for someone to die and have it happen." I start crying as I picture the 8 spiders scurrying across the floor to Becky's parents. I know one of them was the yellow and orange spider that I thought was so pretty. I'll have to check later to see if it's still gone. It's not as if I can do that in front of my parents. My mom pulls me into her lap and rubs my back while I finish crying. "You okay now?" she asks. I nod my head. "All right then, you did nothing wrong. I mean, it's not nice to wish people dead, but that doesn't mean they are going to die. Understand?" "Understand," I repeat, but I don't believe it. I know they are dead. The next morning at school, Becky isn't there. Chapter 15. Room to Breathe. From Fred's point of view. That feels so much better. Not only is the nourishment satiating, who am I kidding? I'm not sated, but ravenous for more. But it's expansive as well. I've been squashed and constricted in this tiny body for far too long. It feels great to stretch my legs and have a bit more room to breathe. The guilt this little one feels is delicious as well. I lap it up and drool for more, knowing more is coming. The stronger I get, the more of her limits I can push. "Just don't get greedy," I remind myself. Yes, I need to remember self control. Push and stretch. Make her bend without breaking. It's a delicate and savory balance. Chapter 16. MRI. A week later, I'm back at a doctor's office and not happy about it. I don't even play with their toys or look at the books while we wait. I just sit silently in the chair next to my mother while she reads her Daniel Steele book. "Melissa Carter?" the nurse calls out. Fred sits in my lap. It's hard for me to carry him on my shoulder anymore. The morning after Becky's birthday party, Fred was significantly bigger and heavier. I wondered what he found to eat. Whatever it was seemed to satisfy him for several days because he hasn't said anything to me since, and it has been over a week. I'm starting to get a little nervous around Fred. As he grows, his fangs and eyes get bigger and more prominent. I feel like he watches me more intently now. Now and again, I won't even pick him up at all when I leave the room, and he scurries after me like the rest of the spiders. Is he following me like a dog would, or is he chasing me like a monster? I never did see the orange and yellow spider again. I look nearly every day. I've started trying to look at all the spiders closely so I can memorize what they look like and know when they are gone. There are still too many for me to count. I try, but I lose track, and sometimes they move around as if they don't want me to count them. Besides missing a specific one, it doesn't seem as if there are any fewer of them. Becky hasn't been back to school either. No one will tell me where she is or if she is even all right. I wonder if the spiders that stayed at her house got to her too. I had thought that over breakfast 2 days ago and started crying uncontrollably. When my mother asked what was wrong, I couldn't tell her. I can't tell anyone that I think I killed my best friend. At school, I haven't even tried to make new friends. No one wants to talk to the crazy girl anyway. I feel even more lonely as I haven't even talked to Fred much this past week. He is partly to blame for me losing Becky somehow. Come on, Missy. My mom coaxes me as I don't move when the nurse calls. Reluctantly, I slide out of my seat and walk towards the woman in the purple scrubs. In the back hallway, the nurse asks, "And how is everyone today?" My mother gives me a minute to respond. When I don't, she answers, "We're good. I think Missy is just a little nervous. She's not normally this shy at the doctor's." The nurse leans over to address me. "You have nothing to worry about. Everything is going to go simple and easy today. You don't even have to do much besides lie still on a table. Do you know how to lie really still?" I nod my head in response. "Well, great. Easy peasy." She continues leading us down through the hospital hallways. My mom thinks I'm nervous, but I'm terrified. They are going to find something wrong with me, and I'll be taken away just as Daddy was afraid of. I briefly have a glimmer of hope that maybe I'll get put someplace with Becky. But Becky didn't do anything wrong, and I did. I'll be put where the bad children go and never see my parents again. But maybe I deserve that because Becky is gone because of me. The nurse leads us into a room with an examination table and a little desk area. "Okay, Missy," she says, turning to me. "I need you to put on this glamorous robe here." She holds out a simple, nearly paper garment. "And I need you to put your earrings in this little cup here. Do you have any other jewelry, a bracelet or anything?" I shake my head no. "Great. We'll give you a minute and I'll be right back." The nurse leaves. "All right, Missy, let's get you changed," my mother says. "Why are you being so quiet?" "I don't know," I mutter as she pulls my shirt over my head. "Are you scared?" "Yes." "I am scared, but not for the reasons that she thinks. I know they are going to find something. Maybe the picture they take will show that I see spiders, or that I killed Becky's parents, that I killed Caleb. They'll see all these horrible things and they'll take me away. But I have to keep all this inside and just pretend that I'm scared of the picture machine." My mom hugs me. "It's going to be fine. You won't even feel a thing, and I'll be right outside if you need me, okay?" There is nothing to do but agree and get changed. I'm a little chilled in the gown as it's thin and it's cool in the hospital. The nurse comes back shortly and leads us down another hallway. This one is shorter than the last. "This is where you'll wait, Mrs. Carter." She points to a room that has a window showing the next room over. "And we'll go in here, Missy." I follow her in with Fred clutched in my arms. He's all I have to hold on to right now, even though I'm not happy with him. I forgive him for now, praying that this will somehow be all right. The doctors in the next room are very nice to me as they explain what the machine does, how I must lie really still, and that the machine will make noises, but they are nothing to worry about. I barely listen as I'm praying that my brain will look normal. I lie down where directed. Someone asks if I want a blanket. I barely nod yes. Fred sits on my stomach, watching me. He seems excited, electric, as if waiting for something. The hairs on my arms stand on end. "Feed me," he whispers. "I don't know how to feed you, Fred." How does he not get that? The bed that I'm on gently slides into a big tube. Many of my spiders run in with me and sit around me on the walls. I close my eyes and wait for it to be over. The machine is loud, so loud. I'm in there for what seems like forever, trying to hold still, yet wanting to move so that I mess it up and they can't see what's wrong with my brain. I can't let them take me from my daddy. The last time I saw him was last night when he tucked me in to sleep. I hate all these people looking at my brain. If they were dead, they couldn't tell anyone what they saw. Then no one would know, and I couldn't be taken away. They need to die. My daddy said you shouldn't ever hurt someone unless you were protecting yourself or the people you love. Wishing these doctors dead now is just protecting my family, helping it stay together. That can't be wrong. There's a weird feeling happening on my stomach. I can't turn my head to look, but I guess what is going on. Fred's body is pulsing. It only lasts for a minute. Okay, that's it. We're bringing you out now, Missy, says someone standing close to the machine where I lie. The bed glides back out. You're all set. The man there offers me a hand to help me down. I take it and follow him to the door where my mother is waiting for me. See, that wasn't so bad, she says, holding out her hand. I glance back as we leave the room and see a dozen spiders that have split off from the herd to remain behind. Maybe it won't be that bad after all. I take a deep breath.